I just wanted to share a small short story as to my motivation behind this video. While at the hospital about a month ago, I had a really good nurse of mine tell me she was super excited because she wanted to start traveling. She had never gotten on an airplane until right before the pandemic. She took a trip with her mom, and she was like, I really am excited. I want to do more travel. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and I need to know what to do before traveling because I'm ready to make some bigger trips out of the country. And so I started thinking, what would I recommend for someone like herself? This talk would probably be more for those folks. If you are an avid traveler, you know all this information already. So here we go. Number one out of our 3 top health and safety considerations prior to travel is to know the status of your destination. So this includes knowing the health status. So do you need certain vaccines before you travel, such as the yellow fever vaccine? Are there medications that you would need if it's a malaria endemic area? Sometimes the vaccines that have been required are as simple as hepatitis A. And other times they're very country specific. So to get this type of information on malaria, cholera, or yellow fever, please just visit the CDC website. The second thing I would recommend is in light of safety. And this is super important, something that I didn't know myself until I had traveled to a few international countries a few times. So it is recommended that you, as a US citizen, you register with the US State Department. This is a way of them knowing not just where you are, but also in case of emergency. The embassy or the consulate on the ground knows that you are in country, and if there is a reason for evacuation, they can do that at that time. So to register with the US State Department, you would go to their website, which I have listed here, and you would register in the STEP program, which is the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. And it's very simple. It only takes a minute and it is totally worth it. Beyond knowing the status of your destination, please, I can't stress enough, know your health status. So for a lot of us who are younger, we often feel immune to this. However, those of us who are younger and otherwise healthy, that could just mean within the last 12 months. But for our older patients or travelers, it could mean, having an appointment within the last 90 days. And this is also important because as you have an upcoming travel, if you take the time to discuss with your physician exactly what your activities may be and where exactly you're going, taking into consideration changes in the geography or the landscape, as your physician can then advise you further depending on your health status. Also, obtaining enough medication for your travel, super important. These days, we just never know, especially if you end up in a quarantine situation or if a country is on lockdown. If you find yourself caught and short on medication, sometimes it is not as easy to get, and sometimes the medication that you may obtain may not be as reliable. So I always advise at least travel with an extra 2 weeks plus of your medications and supplies. And this also includes your first aid kit or your travel health kit, depending on what your specific health needs are. Third and final point in this is just to be ready in case of emergency. And so there are a bunch of things I put under number 3, which includes getting the travel health insurance. Some of these are less medical and more logistical. So making sure that you leave important documents with someone at home who knows where you're going and in case of emergency can reach the help for you that you may not be able to reach at the time of travel. Always carry an emergency contact list with you. Having that emergency contact information on a sheet of paper on your person is super important for those who may be with you trying to help you. So I couldn't emphasize that enough. Check in regularly with your folks. We know you're having a great time on your trip, But having them know, where you're going, what you're doing is a very good idea. Last but not least, check in with the embassy or consulate, and that's part of that STEP program we mentioned in number 2. But even if you're not registered, it doesn't mean that if you need the help, you can't get it. Know where your consulate and embassy is in country and have that contact information available for yourself or for your emergency contacts to reach out in the case of any emergencies, whether it's medical or social situational emergencies. And that will do it. Those are our 3 top things: health and safety, know before you go. And all of this is super accessible. CDC, State Department, so that's state.gov. And don't hesitate. Please ask, and these are just tips. Your specific recommendations should be coming from your doctor. This is Dr. Nemea Wantang. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate the support, and please leave your questions, leave your comments, subscribe, as my little Azza says at the end of every video, and let us know what you would like us to cover in the future. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
I hope you like my video. Yes, you do. Subscribe.